everyone. Welcome to ABC Interactive English. I am Karen.
Hello, everybody. I am Shane. Something weird happened to me today.
Something weird? What happened?
Well, I don't know, because when I lived in America, it's really common, especially like where I'm from in Los Angeles, that people will always come up to you and ask you for money.
Oh, you mean people on the streets?
Yeah, on the street, like begging for money, like, please give me money or something. And since I've lived in Taipei, it's never happened to me.
Okay.
And today, for the first time, somebody came up to me and was like asking me for money. And I actually gave them the money.
Okay.
But
that's nice.
When I was in America, I would never do that. I would never give money because if I gave every single person who asked me for money, if I gave them money, I would become poor. Because it was so much, but it's weird. You don't really see that much.
In
here.
Taipei,
Or
right?
maybe in Taiwan.
In Taiwan. But I didn't know that you can see that many in California, is it?
Yeah, in Los Angeles.
Okay, because back in Toronto, where I'm from, we actually didn't see that many either. It wasn't very, very
Even
common.
in the downtown
I
area?
guess some downtown. I didn't really go downtown that often, but yeah, I guess so, some. But up where I'm from uptown, so I didn't really, it wasn't very common. But today we are talking about people who are having problems with money or kind of struggling. So, and maybe there's some things that we can do to help them.
All right, well, let's get into today's lesson.
All right, let's do it.
The UN has several goals for the world. They're the Sustainable Development Goals, and the UN plans to reach all 17 of them by 2030. The first one is to end poverty everywhere.
Okay, so we've got a pretty difficult title here. Okay, you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
No more poverty. The UN's first sustainable development goal.
Wow.
Wow, that's a tough title, right?
It is, but we can explain to everybody what it actually means. Well, it starts off by saying no more poverty.
Right.
So poverty, basically, it's a noun. Basically, it just means being poor. So when we're talking about being poor, we're talking about maybe you're having trouble even to put a roof over your head, or maybe you're having trouble getting water or all the basic needs, buying enough food for yourself. We consider that poverty. But if you still have...
This situation is called the situation of being in poverty,
yes.
right?
But if you still have a house to live in, and then you have clothes to wear, you have enough food to eat, then you're not exactly in poverty. But unfortunately, I think a lot of countries, a lot of people in the world today are still in poverty, right?
So being poor right here just means not having money. It's not like, oh, 你很可怜. But a lot of people who don't have money, 他们很可怜.
Exactly. So in our example sentence, it says more than 1.5 million Americans fell into poverty last year. And I think that's a fact, right?
Yeah, it's a lot of people who are in poverty.
That's right. They're really struggling with money.
All right, so going back to the title, we have another vocabulary word, sustainable. Okay, if something is sustainable, this is an adjective, it means that it can continue or be continued for a long time.
Okay.
Right. So a lot of times when we're using the word sustainable, we're talking about like the use of like things for energy. Like if we're talking about like not wanting to waste our resources like wood or water, we'll talk about sustainability and being sustainable.
That's right.
Right? Okay. So for example, people must learn to live in a sustainable way, or else we'll run out of natural resources.
Just like what you mentioned, right?
Yes.
Because we don't want these natural resources to run out, or else we'll be in real trouble.
Right, so we have another thing, the UN. So what is the UN?
Okay, basically UN stands for the United Nations. So United Nations basically is
United Nations, right?
That's
There's
right.
more than one.
You're right, United Nations. So basically United Nations is an organization that they do a lot of things to help different countries in the world who are having problems, right?
And a nation here just like means a country. So it's a bunch of countries who come
United.
they come together.
They have meetings,
Right.
and then they talk about some global issues, some problems we have in the world.
To make the world a better place.
Exactly. So for example, world hunger. A lot of people are hungry. A lot of people don't have enough food. That's also one of the things that they would talk about. And today we are talking about poverty though, right? So how do we help people with this problem?
Wow, so that's a long title. Let's get into the reading.
All right. So the UN has several goals for the world. So first off, we said several goals. So there are a few things, not just one goal, but they have several. That means quite a few, a number of goals that they want to achieve, right?
Right.
So they're the Sustainable Development Goals, and the UN plans to reach all 17 of them by 2030. Okay, so like we said before, a number of them, but the actual number is 17, right?
Right. That's a lot. That's a lot of goals. It's just by 2030, right?
Yeah, they want to reach all 17 of them by 2030. So what does it mean when I say they want to reach?
Right. So to reach something means to get to a particular like place or goal in some amount of time.
That's right.
Right? So I would say I want to reach my goal of losing 10 pounds in 1 month.
That's a little bit hard.
You see, though, you don't think I can reach my goal?
I don't know, but 10 pounds is quite a lot.
Okay, maybe I just don't eat anything.
That's not healthy.
Okay. Continuing. The first one, so the first one on this list of how many?
17.
You're listening. Good job. The first one is to end poverty everywhere.
Wow, that's actually a very, very good goal. Yeah. So they want to end poverty everywhere. So everywhere is an adverb. So it's actually quite simple. Everywhere, it just means in all places, every place. So they don't want anybody to be in poverty. That's the first one on the list because they don't want people to suffer, right?
Right.
So in our example sentence, it says, I've looked everywhere for my necklace, but I can't find it. I've looked in the kitchen, I've looked in the bathroom, I've looked in the living room, I've looked everywhere.
Did you look under the couch?
Oh, I missed that spot.
You didn't look everywhere.
You are right.
So why don't you go look for it and we'll take a break.
Okay, I'll do that.
Poverty is a big problem. Over 700 million people live on less than $1.90 a day. They don't have enough food to eat, and they can't take care of their health. These people often live in dirty areas, so it's hard for them to get clean water. It's also hard for them to get an education.
Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back.
So before the break, we were talking about the UN, the United Nations, the organization that, where they do a lot of things to help all the people in the world, how they have so many different goals to reach by 2030. And there are
17 goals.
Exactly.
So the first one on this list is poverty.
Exactly, which means just being poor, right? And then they want to help people overcome and solve this problem. So what are we going to learn about right now?
Okay, let's get into it. Poverty is a big problem, right? I think everybody can agree.
That's right.
That having poor people and not having enough to eat, not having a place to live, not being able to get enough heat, or going to see a doctor, that's a big problem. Over 700 million people live on less than $1.90 a day.
Oh, wow.
So we're saying that they live on less than $1.90. I mean, that means they only have that much money to buy the things and to pay for the things that they need to pay for in their life.
Exactly.
That's only like
That's around 60 NT. Because $1.90, that's US dollars, right?
Yes.
So 60 NT dollars a day, then you can't really afford enough food for yourself.
That's not even 2,000 NT for the whole month.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's
So many
really,
people.
really sad. Okay, well, they don't have enough food to eat, and they can't take care of their health. Well, obviously, with so little money, they don't have enough food to eat. And of course, when you don't eat enough healthy food, your body is going to, start getting sick or start having problems.
You're not getting like the right nutrition, right? You're not getting vitamins, you're not getting enough, just not getting enough to eat, right?
Exactly, and they can't take care of their health. Their health conditions is going to get worse and worse, and they probably can't even afford to go to the doctors.
Right, so if they're feeling sick, they just have to deal with it. They can't go to a doctor to help them because they don't have money.
That's really sad.
Okay, continuing. These people often live in dirty areas. Right, so if we say something is a dirty area.
Well, dirty is an adjective. Basically, dirty, it just means not clean.
Right.
Right? So if it's not clean, and then maybe you're easier to get, catch a cold or get sick. So it's actually, you want to be in a clean area or clean environment.
That's the point. So like if, for example, you're living in a dirty area, your water is probably not going to be clean either. It will be dirty, and there's going to be lots of like diseases that you can get.
If you drink dirty water, of course you are going to get sick, right? So in our example sentence, my dress got dirty after running in the rain to catch the bus. And of course, right, if you're running, all the puddles, you're probably going to get some mud on your dress, and it will get dirty, right?
Right. And so we said they're living in dirty areas. So an area, that's a noun. It just means a part of a place, like a town or a city, right? It just means a part of that. So for example, the area I live in is very convenient.
Oh, so very convenient, meaning like maybe you have a 7-Eleven down the road.
Not just one 7-Eleven down the road. I've got a 7-Eleven this side, a 7-Eleven there, a 7-Eleven behind me, 7-Eleven everywhere.
And then you have all the things that you need around that area, which makes it very convenient, right? Okay, well.
Continuing. So it's hard for them to get clean water. Right? Like we just mentioned, if it's a dirty area, the water is going to be dirty too.
That's one of the basic needs, right?
Absolutely. It's also hard for them to get an education.
Ah, of course. I can totally imagine that. It's hard for them to get an education. So education is a noun. Basically, it's learning something or gaining knowledge through school. So for example, if you go to elementary school, university, college, to improve your knowledge, to learn stuff, or to develop skills.
Especially like basic skills, just like things like how to read, how to write, how to do math. You really need to go to school to do those things, right?
Exactly. So for example, students from lower income families are less likely to continue their education because sometimes it costs quite a lot of money if you want to go to university or you want to go to college or you want to get special training. It costs a lot of money. So people with lower income, they don't make a lot of money. It's really hard to continue the education.
Right. And if you're living in a poor area, like everybody surrounding you is not getting an education, so you don't really feel the motivation to go and get an education either. So
that's right.
It's like a bad circle, right? Okay, well that's all the time we have for today. I hope this lesson didn't make you too sad, but at least you know the importance of what the UN is trying to do, right?
Exactly, and maybe all of us can do our part to help.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
The UN has several goals for the world. They're the Sustainable Development Goals, and the UN plans to reach all 17 of them by 2030. The first one is to end poverty everywhere. Poverty is a big problem. Over 700 million people live on less than $1.90 a day. They don't have enough food to eat, and they can't take care of their health. These people often live in dirty areas, so it's hard for them to get clean water. It's also hard for them to get an education.
Hello, I'm Tina. 我们来看这一课的重点单字。第一个 reach 动词，达到、达成。I'll do my best to reach my goal. 我会尽我所能达到目标。下一个单字 everywhere 副词，各地、四处。Ken looked everywhere for his cell phone. Ken 到处找他的手机。下一个单字 dirty 形容词，脏的、不干净的。Please wash your dirty hands. 请把你脏脏的手洗干净。最后一个单字 education 名词，教育。It's important for children to get a good education. 孩子得到良好的教育是非常重要的。接着我们来看重点文法。第一个 The first one is to 加动词。第一件事就是做某件事情。我们来看看这个例句。I have a lot of things to do today. The first one is to write this report. 今天我有很多作业，第一个作业就是写完这份报告。下一个文法 live on something 凭借某物过日子。live 是生活、过活。我们来看看这个例句。
They lived on very little money when they first got married.
最后一个文法 It's hard for somebody to 加动词，对某人来说做某事是不容易的。It 是虚主词，代替指后面 to 加动词这个部分。我们来看看这个句子 It's hard for Robbie to make friends. 对 Robbie 来说交朋友是不容易的。以上就是这一课的重点单词跟文法，我们下一课再见喽，拜拜。
On the 6th floor of the National Taichung Theater is the Sky Garden. The Sky Garden's large grass lawn and layer of soil keep the top floor at a comfortable temperature. The curved walls of the building stick up through the top floor, so the floor of the Sky Garden is not perfectly flat. A restaurant on the 6th floor offers light meals. It has floor-to-ceiling windows, giving visitors a clear view of Summer Green Park. The 5th floor has a food area, as well as a life design and art store. There is also a special exhibition hall named the Tutu Gallery, designed like a ballerina's tutu dress.